Chris Martin and the boys in fine form. Atlas, the new Coldplay song, and it is from the Hunger Games original motion picture soundtrack. Interesting book I read, author on the phone line.
This is Good Morning Mumbai, and you're with RishiK.
Radio 1.
Nelton D'Souza, author, code-writer at Capgemini. Again, an interesting multifaceted personality, is on the telephone line. What's up, Nelton? How are you?
I'm fine, RishiK. How about you?
Excellent. The book State of the Heart, collection of short stories. When did you actually think of leaving the desk and deciding to be a writer?
Well, I'm still at the desk, to be very honest.
At the Capgemini desk.
Yeah. Well, actually, to be honest, I travel to and fro office, and I spend 4 hours traveling. And while traveling, I can't do anything else. So, since an idle man's mind is a devil's workshop, I landed up thinking of stories to write on. And that's how I basically got into the habit of writing stories.
So what, a laptop while traveling or on the phone? How does it work?
On my phone.
Super stuff. Would you pick out some stories, a couple of short stories that you think would be a standout in State of the Heart?
Well, actually, I have 3 stories that, actually stand out very well. Number one, addiction. Whenever we think of addiction, we always have a very negative picture that comes up in our mind, but that's not quite what's in the book. And if you read the story, you'll be in shock, at least at the end. The second story that I wrote that I really like was The Greatest of Them All. It's a story where, feelings like love, intelligence, and boldness, they actually get personified and have a duel amongst themselves. So, you have all these emotions which actually work on people and how it actually affects a lot of us. So that's where you have that, whether who is greater, whether it's love, intelligence, or it's boldness. The third story that I really like is the Chief Minister's Independence Day speech. The reason I like it, it's perfect, it's a reflection of our times. And it's like, the whole entire thing was happening in our country. I just kind of took it out of myself and put it out on paper. It's how, how an individual and how the chief minister perceives the state of affairs in our own state. So it's a story on that.
Now, an author like Rushdie would perhaps create characters who have a slight amount of magic in them. An author like Jerry Pinto, perhaps troubled characters. Somebody like Amish Tripathi, steeped in history. Are your characters regular Joes? People like you and me, on the job, on the move? Or you think there's an extra edge to them?
No, I personally believe that, like State of the Heart is basically, how to put it, it's a collection of stories based on people. People whom normally, you wouldn't think are so interesting, but actually they are. In other words, it could be a story about you or someone like you. I kind of like taking people whom I see on an everyday basis, or people whom I see on a bus, and actually, pick up one quality which I see in them, and actually put it up on paper and highlight that. So the relatability is definitely a lot more.
You are a people watcher, my friend.
Well, I remember I had a poster once. You can learn a lot just by observing. So
absolutely correct. Say, Paul McCartney, Michael Jackson up ahead. Nelton D'Souza, author who's put out a book called State of the Heart. Everybody get up. Boy band fervor with 5. I tell you what made me get up, at least sit up straight in bed whilst I was reading it. A book called State of the Heart, a collection of short stories by Nelton D'Souza, colorful character who says he's part of the employee journalist community, which incidentally also happens to be the journal that he edits for his regular day job. Here he is on the telephone line.
This is Good Morning Mumbai, and you're with RishiK.
Radio 1.
Now, you just told us about a couple of the stories that you believe in very passionately in State of the Heart. What's the thing about proceeds from the book going to a particular charity? How did you identify this charity?
Well, as I said, in the thank you speech, I thank the entire human race, more importantly, because they are the living stories that I look at and write about. So if I took some inspiration from them, I always believe in giving back. So there is this charity that's in my place. It's called Prayatna, and the job that it does, it takes education to the remote parts of our country, believing in the motto that it's better to teach a man to fish rather than give him a fish every day. So I think that would really help improve the lives. Also, there's another charity called Shanti Nivas, which basically takes care of infants and the homeless. So I would like to help them as well.
I like the fact that guys like you have a regular job. You're at Capgemini, right?
Yes.
What do you do there? What's your line of work?
Well, I'm a consultant. I'm a Microsoft business intelligence developer. So I develop a lot of reports and dashboards and packages and stuff like that to pick up data and extract it.
I like
Yeah.
the fact that your bit on the side is something that you're devoting to charity. I mean, it's not your rosy roti or your bread and butter, as they would call it. So it's wonderful to know that there is a heart and purpose behind everything. So, my friend, is this going to be a one-off thingy, or is there going to be a follow-up to Shape of the Heart, your collection of short stories?
Well, this book, State of the Heart, comes straight from my heart. So this is just a drop in the mighty ocean. The next book that I want to write is a novel, and that's on something that's very close to my heart. I wouldn't like to reveal it at the moment, but it's probably let's hold on to the idea, and when I write it, probably I'll disclose it.
Who are writers that make you go, wow? You know, you just can't get enough of reading them, Nelton D'Souza.
Well, a few writers. One of them is Chetan Bhagat. The reason being that he kind of brought the whole entire concept of a novel, which has to be written in very fluid and high-level English, to the English of the common man, very spoken English. The second writer I love is Leo Tolstoy. He basically set the benchmark for short stories, which is something that I love in this. In fact, before writing this, I read a lot of his works. And that's how I came up with this. And the third one is actually a person in my own organization. Anish Sarkar. He wrote a book called Benami.
Of course.
And yes. And actually, when he wrote, it kind of inspired me that if he could be in a full-time job and could write, then definitely even I could do it. And so that's...
So diverse influences, Tolstoy, a colleague, and of course Chetan Bhagat. Listen, we wish you well, Nelton D'Souza, and more power to your writing. Where can people get in touch with you, find out more about the book, other than picking it up?
Other than picking up on Facebook, you can look me up on Facebook at facebook.com/author Nelton D'Souza. I'm on Twitter as well at Nelton D'Souza or neltond'souza.com, whichever suits you.
Take care of yourself, brother. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. You too, RishiK. Bye-bye.
It's Bon Jovi. You want to make a memory.